says a person who hires workers and in the end they deceive each other and they end up not working together, they cancel the job, they're allowed to have complaints against each other. Why did you hire me? And in the end there was no job. So it's a complaint, you're allowed to have a complaint against them. So you see that the Gemara tells us it's talking about a case where told one of the employees to hire additional workers. Then he found the workers, offered them a lower wage, and then they accepted. But then they found out that originally they gave a higher rate. And they said, well, if we would have heard of this higher rate, we'd never agreed to this lower rate. So they have a complaint against them. They got deceived. So Rabbi Zino learns from here that they have a right to complain. What does it mean you have a right to complain? Sounds like in general, you can't just complain. People think, I could go to somebody and complain to them. In certain situations, the Mishnah says you have a right to complain. Other cases, if you don't have a right, you're not allowed to complain. So therefore, a person has to know that if you are owed a right and you're owed something and someone doesn't do it for you, you're right. The Torah gives you a right to complain, the Mishnah says. But just because you felt somebody should give you something and they didn't, and they're not obligated to do it for you, so you have the ability to complain. Classic case in the shul. The shul doesn't owe anybody anything. The shul is run by people who are Baalei Chesed, and they offer amenities that, coffee stations and and tefillot and classes and all that stuff and wonderful things, food and a lot of nice things they offer, and it's free, and they do it out of the goodness of their hearts, tzedakah, or the AC and all these things, and people come and complain to the people who run the shul, and the people didn't pay for all this stuff, and the people donating are doing from the goodness of their heart. Nobody owes anybody anything. I didn't have to do all this. And you come to complain to people who run the shul. You come to complain to people who are the kabayim and whatnot. You should know, if the Torah didn't owe you anything, and the guy doesn't owe you anything, Rabbi Zino says, you don't have the right to complain. How can you come and complain to him? That's not a situation where the Torah gave you a right. If he made a deal with you, if you work with him, okay, you have a right to complain, says the Mishnah. But a person has to know, there is a concept of having an illegal complaint. The Torah views there's a situation where you complain, and a situation where you don't complain. Just as someone who owes you $100, and you forgive the debt, right? You don't have ability to complain. Where's my $100 anymore? You forgave the right. Same thing in certain situations. When a person also, he asks you for forgiveness, and you forgave him, you cannot complain to him later afterwards. The person has to think, is this a situation where I'm allowed to complain? Am I allowed to have to complain right now? Or we just run around with emotions, come to people, Chutakoya, how could it be you didn't turn on the AC? There was no milk in the fridge today. Why are you complaining? We owe you something? We don't owe you anything. Why are you complaining? Okay, you can ask, how can we bring it? How can we fix it? You have to come with solutions also, not just problems, because people don't owe you solutions if they don't owe you anything. And also, that he mentions over here, they mentioned the note over here, that mahloket, we know, is very dangerous, especially with the people who are your loved ones. The Rambam writes in a letter to his son, the Rambam, he says, do not soil your soul with mahloket. It destroys the body, the soul, all your possessions. Nothing is left. He says, I saw people who were white, righteous, pure. They became black, meaning dark, sinful people, because of mahloket. He says, as the Rashet Chochmah also says, a house that has mahloket will be destroyed. A shul that has controversy will also be destroyed. The Chaim Palaji writes, I know a place that there's mahloket, I know there's no more bracha over there. Wherever there's mahloket, no more bracha. You should run away like you run away from fire. However, you should know that there's mahloket l'shem shamayim. There's a concept of having an argument for the sake of heaven. But you should know, you really have to check if a person is really righteous and doing it with the right intentions. The Noda Rabbi Yehuda says, it's very hard for me to find somebody who ever made a mahloket l'shem shamayim. That was already 300 years ago. And he's saying that it's very hard to find somebody who has l'shem shamayim. So let's say, the Sifrei Musar, a lot of times they say people with mahloket, when it comes to mitzvot and halachot, people very easily jump and they love to get involved with mahloket. Some halakha people don't keep, so people love to say, yeah, tell them, shkajimo, let's tell this halakha, they're sinners, they're going to burn, let's make a mahloket. For example, a person doesn't usually stay up very late, he gets tired, he wants to go to sleep. So example, a guy, he doesn't want to stay up, putting up his sukkah past 11 o'clock. Let's say his wife tells him, build, let's say Yom Kippur, build the sukkah. I'm tired, it's late, I don't want to. What happens? Oh, we got to go and tell somebody off. Late at night, we got to go fight this guy. He's doing something wrong. We got to put him in his place. Yeah, let's go. Till middle of the night, he's going to go and fight these people and make mahloket. So you see that the Yetzer Hara is very easy to get involved, and you see for a mitzvah usually he's tired. For a machloket, he's never tired. He always has strength. Why? So that's a proof. You see the Yetzer Hara is in there also. So therefore, there's a story with the Chaim Volozhiner. He came to his rabbi, or the Gaon Vilna. He says, "Can I start a yeshiva? I don't want to start a yeshiva." So the Gaon Vilna says, "I don't think it's a good idea." Then a year later, he asked him again. The Gaon Vilna asked him a few questions, and he said, "Okay, I approve. Make the yeshiva." So they asked, "Why did Vilna Gaon next year?" He gave a different answer. Why did he change his mind? So Vilna Gaon said, "Last year I saw Chaim Volozhiner. How did he ask me? All excitement, and he wanted to do it. I saw it wasn't 100% Hashem Shamayim. I had to calm him down a little bit. So then I told him no. Second time he came, I saw he came with the Hashem Shamayim. I saw he came with the right intention. I knew he was going to be successful. Whenever you want to make something big and you're going to have to deal with people, you have to come with the right intentions and plant the tree right. Because if you don't plant the tree right and you do ulterior motives, not Hashem Shamayim, no matter what you do, it'll be always, it'll be crooked. Has Hashem, no bracha, and that's when the fire comes. But if we do the Hashem Shamayim, 100%, as they say,